Good job. Being here, people are like, grow up and go and fly. In the island culture, it's like, stay as close as you can to one another type thing. Like, my family was my all in all. My mom, my dad, my brothers, and my sisters. I think anything else could happen to me, but as long as I have my family, I was set.
I got saved when I was 13, but I remember like just like the struggles of like the parents not being present at home, having to play the mom role in the house. I think that's what kind of pushed me.
Never in my life I ever thought, being raised in Hawaii and living in the States, that I'd ever have a desire to go back. My name is Sete. I'm originally from Hawaii, born on Oahu, but raised on Maui.
My name's Caroline Sete, and I am from Tonga.
Tongan ethnicity, it's a Polynesian ethnicity located in South Pacific near Fiji and Guam. So the burden for the Tongan people for me started in 2012. So it started a couple years before I even met Caroline. Again, when I did my rap thing, I got done with a Florida, Alabama tour. I remember like rubbing shoulders with like Lecrae and other people, hanging out with them and being with them. I could see them and I'm like, you know without a doubt what your calling is in life, like what he created you to do. Like, I don't know if I know that about me. I just know that I'm using a gift and I'm using a talent. And man, the thought immediately hit, like there's no Lecrae for island people. However, there's a ton of island people that love rap music and love to. So as soon as that happened, I remember just being overwhelmed and just bawling in the airport. I'm like, okay. And that's when the birth for island people, Tongans in particular, like just was set on fire for me. In 2014, I ended up going on a mission trip to Tonga. Man, oh gosh, I'm such a softie. I'm a cupcake right now. Yes, I actually remember as I was putting my stuff away, I walked out of my room because like it was huts located kind of like in a U, and I remember seeing her walk across the field, and I looked and I was just like, snap, who in the world is that? And I just thought, you know, she was dropping off somebody or she was just walking through or whatnot. But then when we ended up going for dinner, I ended up seeing her again. And I was, oh gosh, I was over there like, who is this?
She like you?
She says no, but that's not my story.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna focus on the task. I'm here for like mission. I'm not gonna like be strayed by like this guy or whatever. So, and I didn't know that like he was doing the same thing. Like he would go to like some of like our staff members like, can I take her? Like I'm like, why would you do that? Like you're trying to like take us out of this program.
We weren't allowed to date. So I did everything I could to not open the door for me to her in that way. I mean, I had a phone where, you know, people were taking pictures on. So I would go through my phone, any picture that she was in, I would delete on purpose so that I wouldn't, you know, oh, look at this, you know, I wouldn't be distracted.
And I thought he hated me for like, like for those reasons. But I found out that it was like, oh, it was just for my own good. We got married like in the church that I attended because like when he came, he just came and like plugged himself in that church, like where I went or where I was saved. So like we got married there. I didn't not know how to like, I didn't realize like how much there was that I needed to deal with, like even just like with everything that I went through like as a child. Like when I came in with like specific expectation. The Nas is like, oh, you're my prince, you're taking me away, you're gonna, you know, take care of like whatever. Not realize that a lot of like my childhood affected that. So
In the few months that we lived there, that honeymoon phase was over for us. She's coming from an island ethnic upbringing, and me, I'm island, but I tell people I was American built. What she brought to the table, I didn't navigate well for her. So in that, we ended up, struggling, and we decided to come back here to the States. So when we came back here to the States, she gave birth, and after she gave birth, we looked at each other and we're like, hey, if we're gonna have more kids, let's just keep having kids here. Let's just stay here. I worked for a tile company in town, working construction. And for quite a few years, man, for like a handful of years, I was the laughing stock. And they jokes of like, man, you go to school only to come back and set tile? Why don't you just come back here? Why'd you waste all those years? So it was huge. And even that kind of played a role in my marriage, because I blamed my marriage for why all of that. My identity, it was an issue that I had, in the midst of going to school and being a construction worker. I was struggling with my identity when I should have just been content with the fact that I'm a son of God, I'm a child of God, regardless of what I did for a living.
I feel like because I didn't know how to handle that, that just kind of like, I carried that guilt because I felt like I kind of pulled him out of like a dream that he's always wanting to be in ministry. So I felt like I took him out of that because of how I handled like whatever I brought in.
I would genuinely think I'm making the right decision for my marriage, then all of a sudden out of nowhere, we're arguing. And I was like, where'd that come from? And I find myself snapping at my kids, and I'm like, I don't want to snap at my kids, but I'm doing it. What's going on?
It would be suppressed and then like just out of nowhere, like blow out. But it was more of like, okay, how do we display to the world what a biblical marriage looks like? Because even just thinking about it, like when we would talk with us, I'm like, I feel like we've destroyed our witness, like just in like our early years.
And me, my mind was just like, how low will it go? How low will it get? Will one of us cheat on each other? Will one of us go to the extent of literally leaving the other one? Man, I remember coming home from work, and my thoughts were just, man, if I want anything to change in my marriage, like I gotta do something that I'm not willing to do, which was go and sit in front of people and tell them I need help.
So like when we went through biblical counseling, it made me turn inward and look into my own heart. So when I started like addressing that, like, okay, Lord, I have to admit this, because if I don't, I'm just gonna keep like trying to like blame my husband for ABC because I don't want to feel the guilt. So like just embracing that and knowing that like there's freedom in that is what helped me through the counseling. So it made me more aware of like, whenever there's something, I gotta check my heart instead of like looking at like the circumstance or the other person.
And she would still serve me, and she would still help me and do what I ask. And even that confused me, because I'm like, why? I was just mean to you. I just said some things. I just hurt you. Why would you still love me and care for me? But man, when I sit there and I humble myself, man, I just find myself bawling, crying. Like, why would she still love me? Why does she still want to stay with me? But I look back now, and still God's grace is like, you don't have to be this. You don't have to do this. So it was more of, man, God, if you're real, if you're Lord of all, if you are good, then I will follow that, because none of this stuff's working, right? Nothing else is gonna work, and it just took my faith to a whole new level. There was nothing that got me here. It's all by His grace and mercy. So what's my role now? It's not even necessary to church plant or to go to my people. It is to shape my life around the Word of God. And that's not just for a pastor, that's for everybody. That's for every believer. That's where you find, where is my role in this great commission? What do you want me to do? And more importantly, not just the what do I want to do, you get this burn for the Great Commission. You get this burn for the Lord. You get this burn for the lost. You get this burn for your coworker. You get this burn for your neighbor. It's not something you can't just you just generate. It's the Holy Spirit. Man, so I think about, man, it's a Nas, are you scared? I can't be scared because I can't do it. I accept that. I get that. I know I can't go plant a church. I know I can't go save marriages. I can't guide people out of darkness. I know I can't, but He can. But what do you want me to do, Lord? And it's let me use you. He just says, let me use you. Was completely redeemed and restored. We just knew it wasn't the same after that. And her and I, we looked at each other, we're like, we got to take this to our people.